Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large block but small exploration ship, and this one is called the LDi Skiff, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently standing on. So this features all the basics you need, barring a survival kit, but there are plenty of places for you to actually slap this on here if you need to, and I'll show you a great location to put it later on in the video. But this features a little bit of firepower in the form of rocket launchers. We have an artillery gun and a Gatling turret on top. We've got hydrogen thrusters to boost us around, so good for being in both space and on a planet. We can fly this both vertically and horizontally, depending on where we are. So if we're on a planet, we'll fly this vertically to make use of a large hydrogen thruster at the back of the ship. And once you're in space like we are right now, you can fly it horizontally, because there's no risk of gravity interfering and making you crash down to the ground. So when you're pressing F10 to find this in spawn menu, the LDi Skiff is 384 large blocks, using a couple of the DLC packs. We have no other information whatsoever, so simply give this a thumbs up. Move around towards the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, then we'll have a tour of the interior, we'll fly around for a bit, see how it handles, then if no space pirates spawn, we'll then just slam it into an asteroid. Also, there will be a link to the Skybox I'm currently using. I found this one this morning, and it is a rather spectacular one, because if I grab hold of my character and just look over into this blue section up here, just moving the camera slightly causes all the stars to sparkle, essentially. Not too sure how that's going to go with the YouTube compression, but it looks absolutely magical, especially looking in this patch right here with the light blue, the dark blue, and little bits of pink and red. Anyway, back over the ship, at the very front, this is what we get. But front and centre, what we've got is a parachute hatch, just in case you get into a pickle coming down to a planet. We then got two small hydrogen thrusters to help slow you down, with two non-reloadable rocket launchers to blast enemies with. We will have to be quite sparing with these in combat, so you will have to load these up manually from the outside. Just below here, putting on my light, there's your artillery gun, and of course up there, behind where I'm standing, is your Gatling turret, while deal with any kind of pesky drones coming towards you, and to be your general use defense. If we were to move around onto the side, what we can see is a bunch of lovely white blocks, with an occasional bit of grey, and a bit of red, just breaking it all up. If we come around over to this section, and just stop right here, so here's your LCD screen with a little logo on top. We then got a doorway to get inside, where as you can see it's sitting on its side, because like I said at the start of the video, the ship can be flown vertically when you take off from a planet like a traditional rocket ship. Moving across over to here, we then can see a large industrial hydrogen tank with an order detector and a beacon, so we can go outbound scout for ore patches, mark them for your mining ship, have them come over and drill it all up. Then towards the back here, some more small hydrogen thrusters for your left, right, up and down. Then at the very back, we then got some magnetic plates to clamp yourself down on when you're on the planet. Then one large hydrogen thruster to push you around, which should give you a nice little speed. Putting my light on, looking into here, we see some great use for our beam blocks, just attaching on this bottom section with our magnetic plates to the main body of the ship. Then moving all the way up and looking down this thing, or at least on one of the sides of this thing, so all the way across, there's our Gatling turret. All the way down past this section, instead of a Gatling turret, we simply got some raised and lowered sections with some steel blocks. Then of course on these sides, then got a connector. And of course on the opposite side will be the door that we saw as we went round. And there we go. So that's a brief look around the outside of the LDi Skiff, and looks great for how it's all been set up. It's a very simplistic ship which can be easily upgraded with whatever you need, depending on what scenario you're in, such that you don't have to have the rocket launchers on the front, you can just remove them, attach on some Gatling guns, or maybe even slap on the actual reloadable rocket launchers if you want to be able to have them fed by a cargo container. So what I'm going to do now is just grab hold of my character, we'll come around to that door sitting on the side, and now we've got to turn the camera like so. So that's how we're going to be on a planet, so you can have a platform move across via a piston, so you get up to this door, then on the inside. So we've got a double door for an airlock, but once we open up this, here we go, they've got a doorway that goes further down, then a doorway that goes further up. Further up could be where our cockpits are sitting, but down to here first of all, we'll come back to this room in just a moment. We now come to our gyroscopes. We've got our reactors, which are currently turned off, then our batteries to mainly power this thing. We've got two programmable blocks, we currently have nothing going on with them, so if you want to, you can put the auto-door and airlock script, and any other scripts you can think of that are going to be useful for this ship. Just looking up to here, and of course floating back up. There we go, dropping myself back down, closing the door. And yes, there is no gravity generator on this, so it will get very wonky while driving this thing around. That's also something that you could upgrade the ship with, if you wanted to. Anyway, on the side there, there's your armory locker, there's your weapon locker. Into here is then a O2HU generator, where it comes with a little bit of ice and some hydrogen bottles. Across to here is your cargo container, your main cargo container, where as you can see, there's your assault cannon shells, and there's your Gatling ammo for the turret on top. But once again, we've got our armory locker, but instead of a weapon locker, we've got a traditional locker to store a few bits and bobs inside. Anyway, now opening up this door, all the way up, here we go, this is the final section of the ship, closing up once again, and clamping myself back down. There we go. If I actually land down properly, I'll have to do. We've got our little ladder that goes all the way up to an LCD screen. There's an air vent to make sure we don't suffocate inside here. Around the room, we've got a couple of chairs for your passengers to sit on. There's a seat to be able to fly this horizontally or vertically even. Because to get into the seat, here we go, third person view. That's simply what it looks like. So we can fly around like so, but it's not currently active as the main cockpit. So we're not going to be able to move this thing. Yes, that's simply what it looks like. So we press spacebar to move all the way up. And of course WS and D to move it around. But if we want to fly it horizontally, we come across to this seat sitting on the wall. And in first person view, that's simply all it looks like. If we come into third person view, there we go, we now fly around like a traditional ship through space. Can't need to rely on that hydrogen thruster to keep us off the ground. Bring up the HUD, these are the controls we get. Where number one's going to be for your camera that sits right next to your hydrogen tank, where you can just about view forwards at what's going on. It's going to be a bit wonky because the seat is not currently sitting on the right side. So as to move the mouse up, it's going to move it to the right. If I move it down, it's going to move left. If I move it left, it moves down, and right, it moves up. There we are with that. If you had the mod to rotate the camera, it would be very useful. Anyway, hopping out of that, pressing number 2, that's with your connector, turn it on and off, and 3 to lock and unlock it. Number 4, number 5 is for your AI blocks, so you can use this as a drone if you wanted to, just set it all up as a little perimeter defense, or say, protecting a mining ship that's say gathering up all the resources that you discovered. And of course, number 6 for your parachute hatch to manually open and close it, just in case you do get into a pickle while on a planet. And there we go. Ooh, that looks like a space pirate in the distance. We get the camera to actually view it. Might be able to. It is very difficult with that camera. It's going to just rely on it like so. So what we'll do now is a quick flight test. Then we'll just move all the way over it and see what's going on. So moving forward, as you can expect from a large hydrogen thruster, we've got a nice lot of speed. And once again, we do have another skybox that's breaking the speed limit, where we can go up to 170 meters per second. Coming to a stop, that is what we get. Because we've got 2 small hydrogen thrusters, we're going to be a lot slower. But luckily, we do have the gyroscope controls to 180, boost all the way forwards to stop ourselves a lot quicker. Moving left, moving right, up and down. It's going to be the same in each direction, which is very slow compared to forwards and backwards, but still serviceable at the end of the day. Then of course, after gyroscope controls, as you saw from the 180, plenty of control over this, a little bit away on this so it's not too floaty, and well, it certainly suits this size of ship. Now that I've done a 180, now that I wiggle the mouse around, I've got to try and discover where those pirates were, so I can go blast them with all the guns. And here we are. So I couldn't get to the ship that I was going after. It was the space pirate transport ship, which, well, jumped in front of me, so it just vanished into nothingness. So instead, I found a space pirate station, and this is what it looks like. Using the camera as best as I can, because it is very wonky. It's got quite a few guns on there. I can clearly see a rocket launcher, which is going to be absolutely lethal to this type of ship, because it does have very bulky blocks and not too much protection. So what I'm going to do now is lock onto it. Here we go. They're going to give it to the AI, let it take over, and do its thing. So once that's all fully locked on, there we go, pressing 4, pressing 5, and now it's completely taken over. In fact, just to showcase this, I can now hop out of this, and there we are, we see this moving all by itself. So anyway, hiding the HUD, letting it do its thing, it's now maneuvering around, it's getting absolutely pummeled by the rocket launchers. I have no idea what it's actually trying to do. It might be trying to get the Gatling gun onto it, but it seems like it has been absolutely annihilated, and is completely struggling. I was not expecting this to happen, but I honestly have no idea what it's planning. I think it might be trying to go away, it might be trying to do a hit and run. I might have to go into the control menu and actually sort this out. So into here, finding the AI combat. There it is. What's it trying to do? Yeah, it's trying to do a hit and run. Let's go through the circle orbit and see if it changes its attack pattern. But it might be too late for it. It might have been absolutely blasted at the front. Has it been? Looks like we do have rocket launches. Yes, we do. There it all goes. We're now going to be exchanging rockets. Behind us once again, zooming in a little bit. I wish I could use that camera. We're now pummeling straight into the main body. We are taking a lot of bad hits on the side there. I'm very surprised the hydrogen tank hasn't exploded yet. There's a Gatling gun on the left-hand side. We're still getting pummeled by that rocket launcher. We're now just plowing straight into it. I think the AI blocks have been destroyed. But I'm going to need to actually manually take over this. And we can't really reverse this thing up. We're now taking a lot of bad hits. Can I shoot into this? No, I cannot. Gatling gun has been disabled. There goes the front of the cockpit. Can I get into this cockpit and move it away? No, I cannot. We are absolutely a sitting duck here. And while the space station is slowly floating away, or maybe I'm just floating away, but we're just getting absolutely annihilated. But anyway, that's some rather unfair combat for the ship to go through. It's meant for light combat against some drones. Well, there goes my other cockpit. Now it's time for me to float away. As I was saying, it's intended for light combat against the odd drone, which are out and about and exploring. and we're just doing our own little thing. It's not tending to assault large bases like this, so it's no wonder they got absolutely annihilated, though I am quite disappointed with the AI combat block for failing so badly. But anyway, before I end this video, what I'm going to do now is just move slightly away from that space station. That'll have to do. Spawn in the brand new one. What I need to do is show you where you can place a survival kit. So anyway, back through here we go, inside. Now we're going to move slightly up. So around to here, what we've got is a projector table, which we can easily just move this out. Here we go. Now we can go place down a survival kit. That'll at least allow you to respawn on it, but it won't allow you to refine everything up. So we do have an assembler built into this, but I'm not too sure what you'd be using with the assembler, because you don't have a refinery on this, so while connecting this up will probably be a very good idea. In fact, now that I think about it, coming all the way down to the bottom here, you could always remove one of the reactors, like that one right there, and place in right like so. That'll do a lot better. Yes, it does break this connection right here, but that's something that you could fiddle around with. Maybe just move the survival kit further up inside this block and just have it connect all the way around like so. But anyway, with that all done, that's basically it what this ship has to offer. So it's a lovely ship to use in your world if you want to have something very easy to build in survival mode that should last a nice long time before you build up something giant with a bunch of guns on there that can assault large bases with ease. This will do very well for a little bit of light exploration, going out and about and scouting for ore patches, as well as going out and about and scouting on planets. It's perfectly capable of flying on them. So yes, there'll be a link to its description below to which download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do, as well as a link to the Skybox I'm currently using. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.